set to go here once again. It'll be solo this time around. It will be Otis-Bison and Greeley County set to take place, and we have a much less populated rooting section for this matchup, it appears, and that's a good thing in a lot of respects. We might have a little less problems with our camera, although somehow it became tilted, so we're going to have to deal with that here in a little bit. And let's take a look at the starting lineups. First of all, for Otis-Bison, it will be Taylor Crescent, Abby Barr, Danica Bartnek, Lauren Meyer, Haley Morrison, and Macy Wiltsey. For Greeley County, their starting lineup will be Bree Hill, Eleni Yanez, Genesis Venezuela, Mila Reynolds, and Anna Trio, and finally, the sixth member of that group will be Gracie Witham. I don't see a libero listed for Greeley County. The libero for Otis-Bison will be Joanna Bowman, and that's the way our lineups are started. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back right after this.
America never stops. Thanks to the financial support of Farm Credit, neither do the farmers and ranchers who call her home. Since the beginning, we've been helping rural America show the world what hard work can achieve. But the job is far from over. And as rural America grows further, we'll be there, just as we have for 100 years.
Well, it appears I spoke too soon about the scoreboard camera, and oh boy, it's going to be one of them days, at least in that respect. As we get set to go, it will be Otis-Bison, the home team, and Greeley County, the away team, here in this matchup. And we're ready to go here. The starting lineup again for Greeley County will be Bree Hill, Genesis Valenzuela, Mila Reynolds, Grace Witham, Eleni Yanez, and Anna Trejo. For Otis-Bison, Abby Barr, Taylor Crescent, Danica Bartnek, Lauren Meyer, Haley Morrison, and Macy Wiltsey. The front line for Tribune, first of all, will be Mila Reynolds, Genesis Venezuela, which will probably be the setter to start things off, and also Eleni Yanez. Front row for Otis-Bison, the Cougars, going to be Haley Morrison, Danica Bartnek, and trying to catch that last number. There you go. Abby Barr kind of tilts her number towards me. And the serve on the way from Greeley County. Barr tries to attack, and it's blocked immediately by big Mila Reynolds. Don't have any heights listed, but she's got to be touching 6 foot or thereabouts. And it's 1-0 Greeley County. Big block by Mila. Next serve, returned, and unable to corral it were Greeley County, so it's now 2-0. Otis-Bison with the early lead. 3-0. Apparently it was hit out of bounds by Mila, as that was a point given to Otis-Bison rather. Serving is Abby Barr. And the serve on the way, received by the back row. That'll be Vasquez for Greeley County. And a point for the Jackrabbits. 3-1. Serve upcoming. Serve on the way from Eleni Yanez. Another point to the Lady Jackrabbits, and it's 3-2. Yanez with the serve. And a service ace by Yanez. Well-placed serve. Not able to get there was Abby Barr. And Yanez will get another serve at 3-3. Serve on the way. This time Barr has it correctly scoped to Bartonek, and the attack down the line is going to be another point to Greeley County as the attack went wide. And Yanez has a good service run going of 4 straight points, or 3 straight points, looking for the 4th. Yanez serve, and that one goes into the net. So it's 4-3 Otis-Bison. Going to the service line will be Haley Morrison for the Lady Cougars. Serve received by the back row of Valenzuela, then bumped over by Yanez on the 3rd hit. Back row attack from Abby Barr, kept alive by Greeley County momentarily, then unable to dive for it and corral it on the 3rd hit was Valenzuela. 5-4, Otis-Bison with the lead. Serve on the way, received on the back row by Yanez. Bumped up by Morrison. They set up far side to Lauren Meyer, and Meyer hits into the block of Mila Reynolds. It's going to be a point to Greeley County. We're tied up at 5 apiece. Serve back underway. Attack down the line. That time from Grace Witham. Now the libero comes in. That's Joanna Ballman for Otis-Bison. Kept alive. A little bump over from Meyer to Ballman, and attack down the far sideline from Meyer goes out of play. Point to Greeley County, and it's 6-5. Greeley County with the lead. Going to the service line, Genesis Valenzuela. Serve on the way, received by the front row of Otis-Bison. They bump it over, but kept alive. And Mila Reynolds with the redirect at the net for the kill. 7-5. As we restart, Reynolds going to set up the near side attack from Grace Witham, and off the block, that's going to be a point to Greeley County. Check that. They say it was point to Otis-Bison. Didn't think it went in, but apparently it landed on the Greeley side of the court in play. Now the serve is long and out of play, so it goes back to Greeley County now. It's 8-6. The score. And another point to Greeley County, as unable to bump it over were Otis-Bison on 3 hits. Reynolds will be serving. Mila with the 9-6 lead with the serve. Goes deep. Abby Barr there on the back row. Second hit. It comes to the front row, but then a little miscommunication and a point to Greeley County. Timeout, Otis-Bison. The score here, Greeley County 10, Otis-Bison 6. We'll be back right after this.
Dixon Drug in Sharon Springs and in Tribune are there to take care of all your pharmaceutical needs. Your prescriptions can be filled at both locations, plus they have over-the-counter medicines as well. And then when it comes to finding those things for your home, you can find it at Dixon Drug in Tribune, Kansas, your complete department store. Everything you'd ever want for the home or maybe the garage, you can find it at Dixon Drug in Tribune, Kansas.
Gooch's Foods of Tribune is your venture food store, and they're open 7 days a week. Check out Gooch's Food in Tribune for all your grocery needs, fresh meats, produce, and dairy products, and much, much more. That's Gooch's Food of Tribune.
As we come back to live action, Danica Bartnek with a cross-court kill, and it's 10-7. Serving for the Lady Cougars will be Lauren Meyer. The serve received by the back row, but right into the net. And it'll be another point, a service ace for Meyer. Her second serve upcoming. Hits the top of the net. Good diving save by Venezuela on the back row. But then set to Grace Witham, who goes cross court, but long and out of play. And it is 10-9. Back to a 1-point match here in set one. Serve on the way, and it rolls up the arm of Valenzuela on the back row for Greeley County, and we're tied up at 10 apiece. So that timeout really has worked wonders for Otis-Bison. They're right back in this match. Valenzuela with the serve received. Over quickly it goes to Bray Hill, and we're going to have out of play, touched actually by Otis-Bison. So 11-10, and Greeley County retakes the lead, going to the service line for the Lady Jackrabbits. Maya Vasquez. She serves to Abby Barr on the back row. Now it's going to be set. They move it over to Grace Witham, who tries to go cross court, but it hits into the net, and that's going to be a point to Otis-Bison. All tied up at 11. Ballman comes in to serve. The libero with her serve. Received by Vasquez, then bumped over on the third hit by Genesis Valenzuela. Rolla unable to control it. It'll be a point to Greeley County. They lead by 1, 12-11. Serve upcoming for, I believe that's Grace Witham now at the service line. And Witham on the back row with the bump. Over to Reynolds. Reynolds goes down the line, kept alive on the back row attack. Now set. Back row attack this time goes to Grace Witham. Again kept alive by Rolla. It's Reynolds now for Greeley County. They set it over to little Genesis Valenzuela, who goes cross court for the kill. 13-11, Greeley County with the lead over Otis-Bison here in set one. Third game from Pool B underway, or from the grade school gymnasium anyway. Set down the middle, big attack from Haley Morrison, and it goes long and out of play. Grace Witham will be serving once again, 14-11, back to a 3-point lead for Greeley County. Serve is a good one, received on the back row by Meyer. Big up on the return from Witham. She'll go back row attack, kept alive by Ballman. Abby Barr spins one along the net, and it finds a home along the front line of Greeley County. Point to Otis-Bison, 14-12 side out. Now serving for Otis-Bison will be Danica Bartnek. And service ace, maybe. Yes, it is, by Bartnick. Good hustle by Greeley County to attempt to get that over in 3 hits. But it was just a knuckleball that just ate alive the receiver for Greeley County. Now on the second serve, Vasquez with the receive. Over quickly it goes to Witham, but then into the net on the third hit, 14 all. Serve on the way by Bartnick. Received by Vasquez. Bumped over, but the attack goes long from Eleni Yanez. And it's 15-14, Otis-Bison with the lead. Bartnick's fourth serve. Kept alive by Bree Hall. And the back row attack from Witham is successful and side out to Greeley County. Now going to the service line will be Bree Hill. I think I called her Hall earlier. It is Bree Hill. Hill with the serve. Receive. Now they set it up left side. Long down the far sideline it goes to Macy Wiltsey, but she hits it too long. And it will be point to Greeley County. They take the lead again. Back and forth affair here in set one. Wiltsey goes middle attack. Kept alive by Witham. Now it's Yanez going down the line near side for the kill. Check that. That's Valenzuela with the kill. 17-15. Serve upcoming for Hill. Received on the back row by Wiltsey. She actually playing front row, but it rotated in. And now she tries to chase down an errant second pass and can't do so. So it's 18-15. Serve on the way. Received by the back row. Kept alive. Now Wiltsey going to go down the line on the far side, but a pretty good wall put up there by Reynolds and Yanez. And she hits it into the net. 19-15. Greeley County with the lead. Latter stages of set one. Serve on the way. Bumped around. They're going to go to Reynolds. She goes middle attack. Kept alive by the libero. That's Ballman on the back row by Otis-Bison. Now bumped over on the third hit by Reynolds. Free it up coming for Otis-Bison. They go to back row attack from Ballman. And bumped over by Reynolds, but long and out of play. 19-16. Abby Barr will be serving for Otis-Bison. Serves on the way. Yanez, or check that, Valenzuela. And now a carry called against Reynolds. She tried to redirect and had a good idea. But just carried the ball as she tried to redirect it to the near sideline. Serve received by Vasquez. Kind of ate her up a little bit. She hits it into the net, and that's going to be 19-18. Serve upcoming. Received by Vasquez. And then it hits the rafters, and Witham, who was going one way, and Grace had to double back and was unable to reach the ball as it came down. We're all tied up at 19 apiece. Latter stages of set one. Vasquez over to Valenzuela. Bumped over by Yanez. Barr goes deep on the far side. Witham's there, and she bumps it over on the third hit. Now they set. Big block by Reynolds on Meyer, and that's going to be a point to Greeley County, and they get the service out that they needed. Serve upcoming for Yanez. Eleni with the serve. Nice serve right along the front row, but kept alive by Otis-Bison. Nearly blocked by Reynolds on the third hit by the Cougars. And again, Reynolds carried the ball. Not getting a lot of love right now. And she kind of looks to her coach and goes, can I not do that? And technically you can't. When the ball is there for more than a half a second, you're almost always going to get called, whether it's a fingertip touch or not. If it's a carry, it's a carry. And now the ball hit in to the net by Grace Witham. Head coach Jordan Stewart senses a little loss of momentum as Otis-Bison now has a 21-20 lead. We'll be back right after this.
Mosier and Mangan attorneys at law in Tribune, Kansas are there to support the Tribune community, not just the Greeley County schools, but the entire county. Whether it's the county fair or activities that involve the school, both athletically and academically, you can count on Mosier and Mangan attorneys at law. Now with offices in Goodland as well. When it comes to education, there's more to it than just athletics. It's academics as well. A message from Mosier and Mangan attorneys at law in Tribune, Kansas.
Oxtown Cattle Feeders north of Tribune, Kansas is a dependable quality provider that offers custom cattle feeding and care. Experienced personnel give attention to detail and consistent care for your cattle. They have the capacity of 20,000 head and they should be your first choice for cattle feeding. Cattlemen can always count on Oxtown Feeders. At Oxtown Feeders, they are also a member of the Kansas Livestock Association.
And welcome back, folks. Well, the serve from Hallie Morrison goes into the net, so it's 21-all. And serving now for Greeley County will be Valenzuela. Genesis gets the serve over. Ballman keeps it alive. Then the attack in the middle from Chloe Shank into the game. Kept alive by Greeley County. Back row attack from Lauren Meyer goes long, and it's 22-21. Greeley County with the 1-point lead. The serve on the way, and that time just a mishit from Genesis. Doesn't even reach the net. Service error, and we're all tied up at 22. Next serve goes long and out of play. We're going to have a little bit of a break after this one. The next match here in the grade school will be Syracuse-Deerfield, which we won't be broadcasting. Tri-Plains Brewster, Western Plains Healy will follow that, and we will be back on the airwaves for that one. 23-all. Lauren Meyer to serve for Otis-Bison. Front row for Greeley County is Bree Hill, Grace Witham, and I want to say that's Vasquez Amaya. We restart. Check that. Barr with the cross-court kill attempt, kept alive. Now Witham with the cross-court kill, scrambling to get it over, and they do. Now free hit upcoming. Witham's going to go again cross-court. Partially deflected, kept alive by Otis-Bison. Down the middle it goes on a big-time hit. That time from a number that we haven't said a whole lot of, but she's been pretty consistent. Taylor Crosent with the kill. Crosent with a real nice attack there, and the serve is a service ace from Otis-Bison, and that will end it at 25-23 in set one. Boy, that was an ultra-competitive first set. We'll be back with set number 2 right after this on Open Spaces Sports.
Supporting the Jackrabbits is the Oxtown Cattle Feeders.
Pierce Lumber Company has offered quality building supplies for all your building needs in the Tribune area since 1983. They specialize in ready-mix concrete, hardware for all of your needs, windows, roofing, doors, metal, siding, and much, much more. That's Pierce Lumber Company in Tribune, Kansas.
We get it. You don't normally go looking for a bank, but you might spot us anyway. You'll see us volunteering in your communities. You'll see our team members at your neighborhood block parties. When you come in, you'll see us go above and beyond to find solutions to any questions, big or small. We're TBK Bank, and you'll see that we stand for helping the people and businesses in our communities succeed. TBK Bank. Visit us online at tbkbank.com. TBK Bank, SSB, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Dixon Drug in Sharon Springs and in Tribune are there to take care of all your pharmaceutical needs. Your prescriptions can be filled at both locations, plus they have over-the-counter medicines as well. And then when it comes to finding those things for your home, you can find it at Dixon Drug in Tribune, Kansas, your complete department store. Everything you'd ever want for the home or maybe the garage, you can find it at Dixon Drug in Tribune, Kansas.
Well, I can tell you one thing right on the money. This is going to be a competitive tournament. Otis-Bison and Greeley County really battling out after the first set. Was Otis-Bison winning set 1, 25-23. Over in the other gymnasium, the high school gym, it's Golden Plains and Western Plains Healy battling it out over in the other gym. And I understand from Lance Stoll, who was my broadcast partner for the first two matches. Of course, he has, shall we say, relation. Okay, he has daughters in that match over there, so he went over to watch that match. And I will handle the Otis-Bison and Greeley County setup, and then we'll come back. And when we do come back, it'll be Tri-Plains Brewster against Western Plains Healy, and that should be a pretty good matchup as well. What we've seen so far, we're looking for a competitive tournament here. Set 2 about ready to get underway after set 1 went to Otis-Bison 25-23. Little bit surprised that they're keeping Otis-Bison on their side of the court and not switching sides. Had to check in on that. I didn't really notice the first couple of matches I broadcast. And we're going to have a carry called against Ilani Yanez. And it's 1-0. Serve upcoming from Bartnek, who closed out on the service in set 1. A little mishit on the serve receive. Went into the net, and Mila Reynolds couldn't come up with it. So it's 2-0 to start off the match. Now it goes to Reynolds down the line, off the net and out of play. So 3-0. Otis-Bison with the lead here. Early going, Bartnek with the serve. That one's a service ace as it was let go by Vasquez, but it just died on the line. 4-0. 4 points to start this set from Danica Bartnek from the service line. And make it 5 points as the receive set into the net. 5-0. Serve on the way, received by Vasquez. Kept alive by Hill. Then bumped over on the third hit by the back row of the Jackrabbits. With them, cross-court set. That's going to be to Valenzuela, kept alive by Otis-Bison. They go cross-court, out of play, and that's going to be a point to Greeley County. They get their first point at 5-1. Going to the service line will be Yanez for the Lady Jackrabbits. Good serve. Service ace, Eleni Yanez, and it's 5-2. Serve on the way, into the net, 6-2. Serving for Otis-Bison will be Abby Barr. Bumped over by Reynolds. Cross court set, Meyer. And Lauren Meyer off the block gets the kill. 7-2. Really competitive first set. Otis-Bison trying to take over early here in set 2. Redirect by Reynolds on the third hit. And it's going to be a point to Greeley County, 7-3. Serving will be Valenzuela. Genesis serve goes to the back row, kept alive by Meyer. Back set. Over to Haley Morrison, who hits it long, 7-4. Valenzuela with the serve. Nice serve. Chased down by, I believe that was Meyer on the far sideline. Now the back set from Bartneck over to Wiltsey, but it goes long, out of play, and it's 7-5. Good service run from Genesis Valenzuela. Quite frankly, after the hot start of Otis-Bison here in set 2, Greeley County needed it. Now the block by Reynolds, but it goes out of play. But they say there was a net violation against Otis-Bison, so it will be a point to Greeley County and continuing the service run of Genesis Valenzuela. The serve received by Meyer. Back row attack just bumped over by Abby Barr. And now a big hit by Witham. Saving it was Ballman. Back the other way. This time we're going to have a net violation against Mila Reynolds as she just touched the top of the net. 8-6. Yeah, net violation, so now they realize that. Serve upcoming for Haley Morrison. Received by Reynolds, then Valenzuela bumped over. On 3 by Greeley County. Free hit upcoming, but we're going to have a carry called against Mila Reynolds. That's the third carry she's had called against her. But I tell you, the big Mila Reynolds, she's got tremendous height, and when she works out that fundamentals thing, she's going to be a force. She'll go to the service line after the error by the attack of Otis-Bison. It's 9-7, and that's a service ace for Mila Reynolds. 9-8. You know, she's tall enough that she really doesn't have to jump very high to really make it difficult for the opposing team to get any kind of power on the return. Now hit into the net by Lauren Meyer, and that makes it 9-9. We're all tied up again. Serve on the way. Received by Otis-Bison. Now Greeley County sets up the attack. Cross-court kill attempt by Witham. Kept alive, and now a big-time thundering attack from Lauren Meyer. Finds the end line, and it's 10-9 Otis-Bison. They'll make a substitution. Coming out will be Macy Wiltsey. Coming in to serve for her will be Chloe Shank. So Shank's serve on the way. Received by the back row of the Lady Jackrabbits. Back row attack from Reynolds. Kept alive. Now a block by Meyer. And it's going to be a point to Otis-Bison, 11-9. Otis-Bison had a 5-point lead early in this second set. Saw it dissipate and was tied at 9. But now they're trying to make another run, and they're going to get another point on a miscommunication between Reynolds and Valenzuela on the back row on the receive. Witham tried to clean up the mess, but was unable to do so. Timeout called by Jordan Stewart of Greeley County. We'll take one as well. The score here, Otis-Bison 12, Greeley County 9.
Gooch's Foods of Tribune is your venture food store, and they're open 7 days a week. Check out Gooch's Food and Tribune for all your grocery needs, fresh meats, produce, and dairy products, and much, much more. That's Gooch's Food of Tribune.
Mosier and Mangan attorneys at law in Tribune, Kansas are there to support the Tribune community, not just the Greeley County schools, but the entire county. Whether it's the county fair or activities that involve the school, both athletically and academically, you can count on Mosier and Mangan attorneys at law. Now with offices in Goodland as well. When it comes to education, there's more to it than just athletics. It's academics as well. A message from Mosier and Mangan attorneys at law in Tribune, Kansas.
Oxtown Cattle Feeders north of Tribune, Kansas is a dependable quality provider that offers custom cattle feeding and care. Experienced personnel give attention to detail and consistent care for your cattle. They have the capacity of 20,000 head and they should be your first choice for cattle feeding. Cattlemen can always count on Oxtown Feeders. At Oxtown Feeders, they are also a member of the Kansas Livestock Association. Supporting the Jackrabbits is the Oxtown Cattle Feeders.
And welcome back. The serve from Shank, and with them with a cross-court kill for the Lady Jackrabbits. They got the side out that they need. And going to the service line will be Amaya Vasquez. Serve on the way, received by the back row. They set over on the left side to Bartneck. Kept alive by the back row of the Jackrabbits. Now they go cross-court kill with them again. And the kill is successful, and it's back to a one-point game. 12-11. First set into 25-23 to Otis-Bison. It's kind of looking like this one might be headed towards the same direction. Vasquez with the serve. Received on the back row by Bartneck. Now she'll get it back row attack. As she rotates into the front row. It's going to be a point to Otis-Bison, 13-11. Serving will be Lauren Meyer. That's going to be long, but not by much. And it'll be 13-12 going to the service line with them. With them serve is a beauty. Kept alive by Meyer. Barr can't bump it over on the third hit. And it's all tied up at 13 apiece. That was a wicked serve by Grace Whipham. She'll have another opportunity, and again, pretty good serve. This time handled by Meyer a little better. Set. That's going to be Valenzuela going down the line near side. Barr goes cross court, kept alive by Reynolds on the back row. To Witham, back row attack, miss hit there by Grace, and it will be 14-13 Otis-Bison the lead. Ballman comes in, the libero, for Otis-Bison to serve. Joanna with the serve. Received by Vasquez on the back row. Reynolds to Valenzuela. Genesis bumps it over, kept alive. Now it's Barr going down and deep on the far sideline, but a little too deep, out of play, and we're tied up at 14 apiece. Serve on the way from Bree Hill. 14 all, and it's going to be a point to Greeley County, 15-14. They retake the lead here in set two. Serve on the way, service ace. And that makes it a 16-14 lead as Bree Hill is on a service run. A couple of really good serves from her. Serve on the way, received by Ballman on the back row for Otis-Bison. They set it over quickly to Hallie Morrison. And she goes down the line for the kill. 16-15. Serve on the way. Reynolds over to Hill. And now Reynolds goes cross court for the kill. 17-15. Serve on the way from Eleni Yanez. Barr kept alive on the back row by Witham. Now over to Valenzuela. She goes down the line, kept alive by Otis-Bison. Big time dig by Elena Yanez, but it goes into the bleachers, and it'll be 17-16 with Otis-Bison serving. Abby Barr to serve. Abby served, kept alive on the back row by Yanez, and her bump over the middle. Check that was Valenzuela attempting the little bump from the back row, and it goes into the net. We're all tied up at 17. Serve on the way, received by Valenzuela. Third hit by Reynolds, kept alive, then the block by Reynolds. Point to Greeley County. They retake the lead 18-17. Going to the service line, Genesis Valenzuela. Serve on the way, received by the back row. That was Barr. Over to Bartnek, to Meyer. Bumped back over by Reynolds. Oh, she just mishit that third hit, though, along the front row, and it goes out of play. We're all tied up at 18 apiece. Substitution coming in to serve will be Kyra Ball. For Otis-Bison, the serve is a service ace by Ball. Oh, wow. I clearly thought I saw it land in, but it was called out, and they're a lot closer to it than I am, so I'm going to go with that. That one was definitely a long serve. 19 all. Now serving is Reynolds. And the service ace by Reynolds. Mila makes it 20-19. Serve on the way. Another service ace by Reynolds. Boy, the gal's not only a force up front, she's also really good with the serves. And it's a 2-point lead as a timeout called. We'll be back after this.
Pierce Lumber Company has offered quality building supplies for all your building needs in the Tribune area since 1983. They specialize in ready-mix concrete, hardware for all of your needs, windows, roofing, doors, metal, siding, and much, much more. That's Pierce Lumber Company in Tribune, Kansas.
We get it. You don't normally go looking for a bank, but you might spot us anyway. You'll see us volunteering in your communities. You'll see our team members at your neighborhood block parties. When you come in, you'll see us go above and beyond to find solutions to any questions, big or small. We're TBK Bank, and you'll see that we stand for helping the people and businesses in our communities succeed. TBK Bank. Visit us online at tbkbank.com. TBK Bank SSB, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Dixon Drug.
Welcome back, folks. Well, the front row for Otis-Bison, let's reset that real quick, will be Macy Wiltsey, Lauren Meyer, and Taylor Croissant. As we restart, Reynolds with the serve. This time it's going to be side out to Otis-Bison. Just a little communication error between the front and back rows of Greeley County. Could never get it set to anyone to bump it over on the third hit. And it's 21-20. Serve upcoming from Chloe Shank. Shank serve, back row, kept alive by Valenzuela. With them goes cross court to Ballman on the back row. She can't control the receive, and it's 22-20. Back the other way we go. Amaya Vasquez will be serving for Greeley County. 3 points away from tying this up at a set apiece. Serve upcoming. Ballman over quickly to Wiltsey. Fired over by Lauren Meyer. Kept alive by Greeley County, though. Now it's Witham. Back to Witham on the third hit. She goes down the middle. Kept alive by Barr on the back row. Now it's Lauren Meyer hitting along. 23-20. Timeout called by Otis-Bison. We'll take one as well.
Sharon Springs and Tribune are there to take care of all your pharmaceutical needs. Your prescriptions can be filled at both locations, plus they have over-the-counter medicines as well. And then when it comes to finding those things for your home, you can find it at Dixon Drug in Tribune, Kansas, your complete department store. Everything you'd ever want for the home or maybe the garage, you can find it at Dixon Drug in Tribune, Kansas.
Gooch's Foods of Tribune is your venture food store, and they're open 7 days a week. Check out Gooch's Food and Tribune for all your grocery needs, fresh meats, produce, and dairy products, and much, much more. That's Gooch's Food of Tribune.
And we're back underway. Amaya Vasquez to serve. 2 points away from the second set. For the Lady Jackrabbits, they need the second set to continue this match. Lost set 1, 25-23 to Otis-Bison. And that's going to be a point to the Lady Cougars. Going to the service line will be Lauren Meyer. Serve on the way from Meyer is a service ace. Reynolds kind of stepped in front of Vasquez. They got confused along the back row, and it's 23-22. Meyer will serve. And a service ace. Reynolds couldn't control that one. Lauren Meyer has a bullet for a serve. It's just a rocket launcher. Set on serve on the way. And again, it's going to be controlled eventually by Greeley County. Reynolds had trouble with it, but able to keep it alive this time. Now they set. Witham's going to bump it over on the third hit. Ballman. Wiltsey. Over to Barr. Kept alive by Vasquez. Cross court set to Witham. Off the net, but over on the Otis-Bison side. And they can't control it. Point to Greeley County. Set point coming up. Serving will be Witham. Grace trying to tie this up at a set apiece. 24-23. Serve on the way. Service ace, Grace Witham. So, set 1 went to Otis-Bison, 25-23. Set 2 went to Greeley County, 25-23. Not sure who's going to win this one, but when we return for the third set, I'd venture a guess that you can probably guess where I'm going to put my money line on for a final score, 25-23. Just don't know who's going to be the 25. We'll be back right after this.
Mosier and Mangan attorneys at law in Tribune, Kansas are there to support the Tribune community, not just the Greeley County schools, but the entire county. Whether it's the county fair or activities that involve the school, both athletically and academically, you can count on Mosier and Mangan attorneys at law. Now with offices in Goodland as well. When it comes to education, there's more to it than just athletics. It's academics as well. A message from Mosier and Mangan attorneys at law in Tribune, Kansas.
Oxtown Cattle Feeders north of Tribune, Kansas is a dependable quality provider that offers custom cattle feeding and care. Experienced personnel give attention to detail and consistent care for your cattle. They have the capacity of 20,000 head and they should be your first choice for cattle feeding. Cattlemen can always count on Oxtown Feeders. At Oxtown Feeders, they are also a member of the Kansas Livestock Association. Supporting the Jackrabbits is the Oxtown Cattle Feeders.
Pierce Lumber Company has offered quality building supplies for all your building needs in the Tribune area since 1983. They specialize in ready-mix concrete, hardware for all of your needs, windows, roofing, doors, metal, siding, and much, much more. That's Pierce Lumber Company in Tribune, Kansas.
We get it. You don't normally go looking for a bank, but you might spot us anyway. You'll see us volunteering in your communities. You'll see our team members at your neighborhood block parties. When you come in, you'll see us go above and beyond to find solutions to any questions, big or small. We're TBK Bank, and you'll see that we stand for helping the people and businesses in our communities succeed. TBK Bank. Visit us online at tbkbank.com. TBK Bank SSB, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Dixon Drug in Sharon Springs and in Tribune are there to take care of all your pharmaceutical needs. Your prescriptions can be filled at both locations, plus they have over-the-counter medicines as well. And then when it comes to finding those things for your home, you can find it at Dixon Drug in Tribune, Kansas, your complete department store. Everything you'd ever want for the home or maybe the garage, you can find it at Dixon Drug in Tribune, Kansas.
Gooch's Foods of Tribune is your venture.
And welcome back as we start set 3. Set 1 went 25-23 to Otis-Bison. Set 2 went 25-23 to Greeley County. So now we start set 3. Don't know who's going to win, but I'm betting on 25-23 to be the final score, obviously. They seem to be pretty well matched here. Serve upcoming from Greeley County to start the next set. And I just been informed that the reason we're not switching sides in between sets, that's just a precaution due to the COVID outbreak that we had to deal with this summer. Boy, was that not fun. Hope everyone went through the summer safely. As we return to action here in volleyball, I got to tell you, this is my second match already, or my second day of activity already, and I'm already loving it. It's fun. As we get set to go, it will be Genesis, or check that, it's going to be Bree Hill with the serve, received by Ballman. Bumped over on the far side by Wiltsey for the kill, and it's 1-0 Otis-Bison. Don't know why I'm keep saying Rolla, but it is Otis-Bison with the lead. The Lady Cougars with the lead here early in set number 3, but I emphasize it's early. Reynolds with the middle attack. Kept alive. Now she'll go again down the middle. Bartnick keeps a piece of it. Kept alive by Otis-Bison. Now they bump it over, but out of play. 1-1. Serve on the way from Otis-Bison with the point there. Trying to readjust, folks. Just hang with me. We'll get there eventually. Two-1 the score. Otis-Bison will bring in Kyra Ball to serve. And that's going to be a service ace for Kyra. 3-1. Serve on the way by Ball. Little knuckleball. Witham has to dive for it. Kept alive by Vasquez. Then bumped over by Yanez. Back the other way. Hill to Vasquez. To Reynolds. Down the middle. Kept alive by Bartnick. And a carry call. That'll be a point to Greeley County, who carry called against Otis-Bison. Didn't pick up a number, but Genesis Valenzuela will be serving. Received by Ballman, bumped by Myers, bumped over by Barr, kept alive, and now Reynolds goes deep. Ballman keeps it alive, bumped over by Croissant. They set up. Croissant blocked by Reynolds. Kept alive by Otis-Bison. Reynolds to Witham. Cross-court kill. Kept alive on the back row by Barr. Now it's Meyer going down the line for the kill. 4-2 the score here in set 3. Coming out will be Macy Wiltsey going in to serve. That's going to be Chloe Shank. Shank to serve. Paula serves a good one. Kept alive by Eleni Yanez on the back row. Blocked by Reynolds. Kept alive by Otis-Bison somehow. Now Witham goes down the middle. And kept alive by Ballman. Partially deflected by Reynolds on the joust. To Witham. She'll go cross court. Kept alive by Barr. And finally it's going to be Lauren Meyer off the block of Reynolds for the point. Otis-Bison 5, Greeley County 2 here in set 3. Serve upcoming. And the service ace from Shank. Well, I take it that Lance Stoll has come back over here, so I take it the match between Western Plains and Golden Plains has been completed.
Correct. Yep.
How did that turn out?
Golden Plains in 2 sets.
Pretty good, pretty tight.
It was real tight.
7-2 the score here in set number 3. Make it 8-2, as it was very competitive in the first 2 sets. Then Lance came back over, and all of a sudden Otis-Bison got on a service run, so I blame him, folks.
Tribune might be kicking me out then.
Well, that's kind of my goal.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I got to have a little mischief.
Right.
I'm an old guy. I have to have fun somehow. We have a timeout on the court. We'll take one as well. We'll be back right after this.
Store, and they're open 7 days a week. Check out Gooch's Food and Tribune for all your grocery needs. Fresh meats, produce, and dairy products, and much, much more. That's Gooch's Food of Tribune.
Mosier and Mangan attorneys at law in Tribune, Kansas are there to support the Tribune community, not just the Greeley County schools, but the entire county. Whether it's the county fair or activities that involve the school, both athletically and academically, you can count on Mosier and Mangan attorneys at law. Now with offices in Goodland as well. When it comes to education, there's more to it than just athletics. It's academics as well. A message from Mosier and Mangan attorneys at law in Tribune, Kansas.
Back to live action. Witham goes cross court, kept alive by Barr. And that's going to be another point to Otis-Bison. So after these two teams exchanged 25-23 scores in the first 2 sets, Otis-Bison has come out on fire here in set 3. They lead 9-2. The serve from Shank. Shank's been very effective from the service line. Now Witham goes cross court, kept alive by Ballman, over to Meyer, blocked by Reynolds, but out of play, and that's going to be a point to Otis-Bison. They lead 10-2.
Meyer's got some big power, doesn't she, up there on the front row?
Yeah, Meyer and Reynolds has turned out to be a pretty good cast all the way through.
Right.
And Witham has been adding some fireworks as well, as has Bartonek for Otis-Bison. So those 2 matchups have really been kind of fun.
Yeah.
11-2, but it's the serving that's giving Otis-Bison the early advantage, and the service ace by Shank here in set number 3. They have rattled off a couple of really nice service runs. Shank the latest one, and it's 12-2. She's had a couple of service aces, and that one returned but over the net. It's going to be a setup to Witham, who will go cross court, kept alive by Ballman. And I believe that was hit long. No, it was in play. 13-2. Wow.
Wow.
And boy, that was well placed. I couldn't walk over there and place it any better than that. Serve on the way, received by the back row of the Jackrabbits. Witham. Little tip over on the 3rd hit. Kept alive. Bartonek goes down the line. Kept alive by the back row. That was Yanez. And that's going to be out of play by Greeley County. So another point to Otis-Bison. They lead 14-2 here in set 3. The heat might be getting to Greeley County.
Right.
As they look a little bit fatigued here. Cross-court kill attempt by Reynolds. Kept alive by Otis-Bison. Bartonek with a cross-court kill attempt herself, and now Vasquez mishandles the second hit. It'll be a point to Otis-Bison. They lead 15-2. Boy, you really need a service break here if you're Greeley County. Yanez bumped over by Hill. Kept alive. Bartneck goes cross court. Out of play.
That could be it right there. Got a break.
I think it was a tip. No tip. So it's going to be a point to Greeley County. And Reynolds now comes up to serve. And service error from Mila Reynolds. Boy, she had such a good serve in the first two sets.
Mm-hmm.
And that one just a mishit.
Yep.
16-3. Serve received by Reynolds. Bumped over on the third hit by Witham. And Witham with the third hit bumps it over to the back row. Ballman gets it up front to Bartneck and then hit over by, I believe that was Wiltsey. Check that. That was Crosant. It's going to be a point to Greeley County. And going to the service line, Amaya Vasquez. 16-4 the score here in set 3. Vasquez really needs a big service run. The serve received by Meyer. Now Barr bumps it over. Bumped over on the third hit by Witham. Now Bartneck goes middle attack. Kept alive on the back row by Valenzuela. Ballman barely got a hold of it, and then a nice save by Crosant over on the third hit, and Greeley County can't return it. 17-4. Things just getting away from the Lady Jackrabbits here in the third set. A reminder, we're going to have a one-set break after, or one match break after this one. And then when we return, well, we had my schedule got buried. After we return, which will be in about an hour and a half, it'll be Tri-Plains Brewster against Western Plains Healy. That should be an interesting matchup. Right now, it's Joanna Bowman serving for Otis-Bison. The Lady Cougars leading 17-4 here in set 3. Received by Reynolds. Cross-court set to Witham. Her cross-court kill attempt kept alive. Now Barr goes cross-court, but kept alive again. Witham bumps it over on the third hit. Free hit upcoming. They go right down the middle with Hallie Morrison. And out of play by Hallie. It'll be a point to Greeley County, 17-5. Servings Witham. This is where Greeley County has struggled with this front row. They're very good on the back row, and they are excellent players, don't get me wrong, but Bree Hill, Lani Yanez, and Genesis Valenzuela just don't quite possess the height that they need to attack against a front line of Abby Barr. Well, I lost my thought for a second. Abby Barr, Macy Wiltsey, and Hallie Morrison have a little more height, and they're pretty fast along that front line. This is a rotation that Greeley County really needs to get some points from right now, but they need to move it along and get out of that rotation a little bit, because they'd like to see Reynolds along the front row as soon as possible.
She's got some real power up there on the front.
Yeah, and her middle blocking skills are pretty good.
Yeah.
Witham will be serving. When we return to play, we're having a official confab, I guess. A powwow.
And I'm not sure what this is over.
Unless there was a rotation issue or an illegal substitution, I don't know either. They are looking at Otis-Bison's lineup, though. That might not bode well if you're a Lady Cougar fan.
Well, right.
Whenever there's a conference at the scorer's table, I always look to see where the officials are looking. Because that's probably where the problem's occurring. Greeley County trailing here in set 3, but they're at the service line. There might be some kind of a problem with the rotation of Otis-Bison here. Might have got out of whack somehow. I'm just guessing at this point.
They're looking at the scoreboard too, so
maybe there's a scoring error. Maybe it's not 17-5.
Right. I'm not sure what they're discussing over there.
Well, you keep an eye on the scoreboard. I'll keep an eye on the rotation, and we'll see if we can't figure it out. Now, one of the officials going over and explaining to Greeley County what they're talking about, and I still have no clue. No change in the score so far. No change in the rotation so far. Okay. Well, we're restarting with Grace Witham. After a while, you just learn to roll with the punches.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Witham with the serve. And the double hit on the return from Bartneck, and a point to Greeley County. But they need a big service run from Grace Witham just to get them back into this match. Bartneck that time handles the serve receive. They set it over to Valenzuela. She go cross court. Myers, Wiltsey, attacked by Morrison off the block of, I believe that was Reynolds. Might have been Reynolds or Yanez with the block attempt. 18-6. Otis-Bison with the lead in the serve, going to the service line. Probably the most effective service practitioner today for Otis-Bison, Danica Bartneck. Now Myers, they've been really effective, both of them. Witham with that back row attack, kept alive by Myers. Barr goes cross court, diving dig by Reynolds, but it into the net. 19-6, the score here. Danica Bartneck with the serve. Received. Cross court set. Big time hit by Genesis Valenzuela. Barr over to Reynolds. To Vasquez. To Yanez. Out of play. 20-6. 5 points away from the match are Otis-Bison. 14 points behind them, Greeley County. They need to catch up quick. Need to start making up some ground here very quickly. Valenzuela with the cross-court attack. Kept alive by Meyer. Now the cross-court kill by Bartneck, and it's 22-6. Well, I think it is. It might be 21-6 still. I might have got ahead of myself. 21-6. Bartneck with the serve. Vasquez returns it over the net. Free hit upcoming. Redirect by Barr, and she steps over the line, so she's going to give the service break to Greeley County. Bree Hill says thank you very much, and she'll go to the line to serve. Received by Wiltsey. Bartneck back set over to Barr, kept alive by Greeley County, and the attack by Valenzuela finds a home in the near side corner.
I think Tribune's got Reynolds back on the front row, so that there'll be beneficial.
Yeah, but is it too late? Down by 13 points here late in the set. We'll just have to wait and see. Now they go to Reynolds. Reynolds attacks down the middle. Bartneck kept it alive. Barr hits through the block of Reynolds. And the side out, it's 22-8. Boy, that was a big-time hit from Abby Barr.
That was.
Serve up coming from Barr. Received by Witham. Kept alive. Now, what an attack off balance by Reynolds on the near sideline. She went middle attack on the off foot and was able to place it perfectly. Side out to Greeley County. 22-9. Myers goes cross court off the top of the net and into the corner for the kill. 23-9. And Ballman will come out. Coming in to serve will be Kyra Ball. 23-9. Ball with the serve, received on the back row by Witham. She'll go back row, attack, and hits it into the net, and we're at match point. Ball to serve for the match. Received on the back row. Reynolds redirects it, and it's going to be a point to Greeley County, but they can make no more mistakes. They got to have a perfect service run from Genesis Valenzuela now. 14 straight points required. Serve on the way. Hits the top of the net. They work it over. Carry against Otis-Bison. 13 points required. 24-11.
You got to start somewhere.
That's one.
Yep.
One match point, actually 2 match points down.
Oh.
But that one's going to count. 25-11 in set 3. Otis-Bison wins over Greeley County. So the final score here. Otis-Bison 25-23, 23-25, and 25-11. The final score of this one was a really entertaining match, particularly the first 2 sets were just a lot of fun.
I wonder if the heat did or Tribune just wore
I'm
down.
Starting to feel the heat, and I'm old, but and kind of hypersensitive to the heat. But I can't imagine it'd be any fun running around in that kind of heat.
Right.
And I kind of wonder if maybe they just ran out of gas a little bit. Of course, both teams were out on the floor, so.
Right.
However, I'd be closer to the door and the outside if I was playing Otis-Bison. So maybe there's a difference in where the airflow comes from. I don't know. I'm just merely guessing. But I can tell you this, it's 25-23, 23-25, 25-11. Otis-Bison over Greeley County. We'll be back right after this.
America never stops. Thanks to the financial support of Farm Credit, neither do the farmers and ranchers who call her home. Since the beginning, we've been helping rural America show the world what hard work can achieve. But the job is far from over. And as rural America grows further, we'll be there, just as we have for 100 years.
Welcome back, folks. Well, once again, we're going to have probably a pretty lengthy break, at least an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours before we have action. And once again, when we do, it'll be Tri-Plains Brewster versus Western Plains Healy. Once again, it was 25-23 in set 1 to Otis-Bison, 25-23 in set 2 to Greeley County. And in the third set, Otis-Bison pulled away early with some outstanding service play. And they win 25-11. We will take we're going to send it back to the studios. When we return in about 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half from now, it will be Tri-Plains Brewster and Western Plains Healy right here on Open Space.